What's up, turkeys? Welcome to FTR for the record. My name is Lee Reynolds, and my co-host is
Tony Bruhn.
We have a special guest.
What up, Andrew Scott?
Andrew Scott from Bullies Volume 1, Tucson Bullies.
Yeah, man.
This album right here, shameless plug, he's here. And guess what, man? We went
Shameless.
back to 1983 for this album.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about now. We just listened to it.
Fuck yeah.
Andrew picked it out.
Yeah,
It's
I was
Metallica,
gonna say, yep.
Kill 'Em All. You know it. You've heard it. You love it. It's great. But I want to start with what's you guys' history on this album?
So I'm not a big Metallica fan, but I've always enjoyed them.
Same.
You know, and so I'm one of those guys that all true Metallica fans hates.
Yeah.
Because,
for sure.
Because
yes.
I like
Yes.
Reload. I like
Yes,
Death
I do.
Magnetic.
Yeah.
I love Death Magnetic.
Yeah, I
That
thought it was a
record's
great
hard.
album. And
Hard,
me and
yeah.
my buddy Nick listened to that album and we were blown away. And I would talk to other Metallica fans at work and they were like, man, Death Magnetic sucked. And I was like, what? And so I've never really gone back and done my history on Metallica. And so when I saw this, I was like, you know what? I know a lot of the songs on this album, but I've never listened to it the full way through. Let's do that.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, fucking hard.
I was happy you picked this one out because I haven't listened to it all the way through since I used to keep CDs in my car.
Right.
So, and maybe even long before that. This might even be early 2000s since I've just listened to it straight. And I enjoyed it, man. This record's hard. It's great.
Since we've been doing FTR, the one album that I just loved reviewing was Public Enemy,
Yeah.
right?
Mm.
And we talked about doing how Public Enemy, it's not an album you should just wince your way through. It's not one thing you should you gotta be in the mood for Public Enemy, right? That whole album we listened to.
Yeah.
This is how I felt like this, but like Mad Max.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? That's how I felt. It's like you can't just be like, oh, it's just a regular Saturday. I guess I'll listen to it. No, this is an album. It amps you up again.
Right.
And you want just like all of it. Like, yeah, you want.
Yeah.
You just,
This is the perfect, like...
I wanted to mosh this room.
yeah.
when
I will
you have
mosh
it-
my car
when
while
you have
I'm
a-
driving.
Exactly what I was
yeah,
like.
yeah.
When you have that shit day at work,
Yeah.
and the boss is just fucking trampling you on some stupid
It's
crap,
white Public Enemy.
and yeah. That's us. That's our people, bro.
Yeah.
That's a little Jules call out.
Yeah.
But no, it went hard. And the thing I really liked about it, I've always liked this about Metallica, but it really shined in this one, was their breakdowns. I
Oh,
talked
yeah.
about it a lot
Yeah.
while we were listening to the album, because when they just slow down the riff, and just go into a heavy dun, 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 you know, just slow and
low.
hard.
Yeah, slow and low, baby.
And they fucking nail it every time.
Yeah, and then like probably the most popular song off this album is Seek and Destroy.
Yeah.
And that's
absolutely.
probably the slowest tempoed song. And it's not slow. But
No,
it's consistently, it's just one of those songs that's like that nun just beating a student over the head with the ruler, just boom, 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 and just doesn't let up from
It was
that.
funny
Yeah.
because, like, we didn't sit in silence and listen to the album. You know, we're talking, we're bullshitting about other stuff, but there were certain moments. What was the song on? Hit the Lights, Whiplash, Seek and Destroy. There was a few of them
Hit the Lights had a great intro.
where we all just shut up.
Yes.
And we're just like, yes, like that's the shit right there. This is what Metallica is.
Yeah.
And then after that riff was done or whatever, we'd start talking again. But Metallica, they'll shut you up, dude.
Oh, yeah.
They'll stop the conversation and you're like, what just happened? What are we listening to
Absolutely. That band
It starts a new conversation.
That band
Yeah.
has outsold Michael Jackson. Please don't fact check me. We don't research. But this band has outsold Michael Jackson for a reason. They've taken over the whole world for a reason. As a metal band, not a pop band, not Michael Jackson, not
No.
Taylor
They're a
Swift,
staple now.
not Madonna, but a metal band doing that.
They're
For a
measuring bar for
reason.
rock. Now.
Yeah,
You know what I
for a
mean?
reason they've done that, and and just the Roots, the first 3 albums they did, and then everything beyond that. That some people like, others don't. Whatever, that doesn't matter. But everything they've done to progress since those first 3 has built them to the biggest. But this is the Roots. This is the Roots, and it's this hard shit. And it was so great, and it laid down such a foundation that they could go weird with like the Load and the Reload.
Mm-hmm.
that I think is misunderstood. I think half the songs on those 2 albums could have been cut out and formed to one banger.
Right.
That's my opinion on those 2. Death Magnetic I loved. We
don't talk about Saint Anger.
Saint Anger, the songs are a little shorter, but whatever. But I appreciate Lulu. The thing they did with Lou Reed wasn't my shit. Wasn't really much of anybody's except those 5 people. But I respect them for getting weird. But had they not done
these first 4, the first 3 that Dave Mustaine wrote half of, and then And Justice for All being such a banger, they couldn't have gotten weird.
And
if this wasn't so fucking good, they couldn't have got weird as they became old men.
The thing about them, though, is like their influence hasn't tapered off.
No, you're absolutely right.
They still love Diamond Head. They still love Motorhead. They love the Misfits. They, they love Black Sabbath.
Any big rock band today is gonna have Metallica on their list of influences.
Like the Bible of metal. Like Metallica is a chapter for sure.
Yeah, Metallica, Slayer, Black Sabbath, Motorhead. Check. All right, you're now metal.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But like, I know Avenged Sevenfold. They've kind of tapered off for me, but like when they first came out,
when they first,
and they'll tell you in the early days, we're trying to rip off Metallica.
Yeah, exactly.
They will tell you that
straight up. All of your
Trivium,
big metal.
same thing. They're like,
that's right. Yeah,
we walk on stage. In the early days, we walk on stage to do our best Metallica impression, and like they were teenagers when they did that, and that's what you're supposed to do in your teenage band.
Yep.
But again, had this album not been what it was, and the 3 that followed it weren't that good, people wouldn't care. They'd go, but they had that one album. No, they go, those first 4 are untouchable. And then everything after that, people can go, and everybody's got their opinion. And your opinion is correct. Whatever
you think,
no,
agreed.
It's not.
It's
if
correct.
You like Metallica, go fuck yourself.
You can go
like we were saying earlier, while we were listening to the album, another thing we got really opinionated on is that Lars is a bomb fucking drummer.
We all agreed on that. Fuck everybody that says otherwise. Lars is a great drummer.
I do think he is a great drummer.
Fuck you drum nerds that go, no, he wasn't, the snare tone, fuck you.
What was
Lars is a great drummer.
What was that?
Lars is a great drummer.
Yeah.
Lars can stand up on drums and play thrash. You can't. I want to talk about a highlight to me, being the bass nerd that I am. I want to talk about Anesthesia.
That was a great track.
Like it's just in the middle, like, we're just gonna have bass and drums, no lyrics, no.
It takes a great bass player to make you forget that what's being played is a bass. Where you're like, this is a guitar solo, and you're like, no, this is a bass solo.
Yeah,
you're like, what the fuck?
It takes a great bass player to make you not shit on bass players, because like bass, let's be real, bass players are not like the livelihood of the band.
No,
most of the time, no. But here's the challenge: name me a great band with an okay bass player. Name me one. A great band.
No, I
okay.
Can't.
Name me again, like back to defending Lars. Name me a great band with an okay drummer.
A great band with an okay drummer.
They don't exist.
Bullies.
They all.
Pennywise
got an amazing drummer.
I don't know. He's never really super impressed me.
Those punk drummers can fuck.
I know he can.
Now punk drummers are different. They play simple, but
that's what I'm saying.
Like think Tommy Ramone and Marky Ramone. Like it was 4/4 beats, but can you do that for 2 hours straight with no breaks?
I mean that. I'm not saying he's not talented. I'm just saying that there's a
You're
lot.
Right, though. It's hard not. You can't find a not good bass player.
You can't. Now Cliff
I'm
was, and I'm gonna throw Rob Trujillo and Jason Newsted in this mix too.
I don't know.
But I'm gonna throw all 3 of them in here. But out of like the elite bass players, those 3 guys are the elite. And Anesthesia,
he was a left-handed bass player.
Yeah.
Like, that's even rare.
Yeah, he's amazing. Yeah, these guys are the elite of the elite. These are like the Michael Jordans and the Scottie Pippens and the Larry Birds.
Who's the guy from Cake?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know his name.
I can't name anybody in that band.
Him. He's like my favorite bassist.
Yeah, but they're the elite of the elite. And every bass player that has ever gotten somewhat good has tried to play Anesthesia and can't do it. You can try. You might hit those notes, but you can't do what Cliff did. And nobody can. Jason Newsted, his whole run in Metallica, he never attempted it live, to my knowledge. And Trujillo's done it a few times, and he's put his own thing to it, and that's cool too, because he's a phenom of a bass player. But only Cliff could do what Cliff did.
It was pretty monster.
And he was such a unique cat. We were talking about this earlier. Like, the other three guys in the band wore the 80s thrash metal uniform, which was tight jeans, typically black, with the black t-shirt, sleeve cut off, maybe the Hesher vest, and high top sneakers, like, you know, high top Nikes or Reeboks. And Cliff walked out in work boots and bell bottoms and a Misfits t-shirt in 1985, and people were like, what the fuck is that skull? I mean, it looks cool, but I don't know that band because the Misfits were.
You listed off a great list of bands, but name me another band like Metallica that's actually just inspired, still today, even multiple generations of metal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How, like, you said Slayer, Metallica.
Still active. Slayer's
you know,
not active anymore.
Exactly. Still active.
I will throw Megadeth, Testament, Exodus in that mix. And Dave Mustaine wrote half this album. But Megadeth hasn't, or none of those bands have achieved the mainstream success that Metallica did. Right. The only other rock band I would put in that mix with
AC/DC.
AC/DC, Aerosmith, and more modern than that, Foo Fighters.
I'll give you that.
The only metal, like hard, like extreme metal band in that mix is Metallica.
For sure.
You know, AC/DC is a heavy blues band. Aerosmith is a blues band, and you know, Black Sabbath is again another blues band. But Metallica is the only band that started off as an extreme band that went to take over the world. Outsell Michael Jackson. Outsell fucking Madonna.
The thing that kills me about that influence, though, is like you'll see generations of influence. You know what I mean in music. So you'll have people who, like, the next generation is going to be like, oh yeah, you know, John Legend, Katy Perry, like in terms of pop.
Like,
and then you're going to be like, oh yeah, but they were influenced by
Aretha Franklin,
you know,
and all that
and Michael Jackson and that and those people were influenced by this and this. But it's been 40 years. It's been over 40 years. And Metallica is still a direct influence.
I agree with that. Yeah.
It's still active. They're still an active
It's not
band,
like, oh, we're inspired by Avenged Sevenfold, who was inspired by Metallica. It's like, no. Metallica. Like, we can just skip all the other decades.
Because Michael Jackson been dead, what, 12 years now? 15 years almost?
Something like that. I don't know.
But he's still an influence, right? But, like, Metallica's still around, still kicking, still doing gigs, and still influencing.
Now, I saw Metallica. Now, piggybacking on what you said, and these are kind of my closing thoughts on this, but I saw Metallica do the S&M show about 8 months ago, and it bragging.
Jelly.
But one of the strange things I saw was we went into San Francisco. We went to their hometown with my friend Shannon, shout out, and we saw, like, we were in line to get in, and I just yelled really loud, "Who's from San Francisco?" Nobody went, "Me." And then we looked around, and there were multiple generations of fans there. There was granddad, dad, grandkid.
That's cool.
And then Shannon and I are both middle-aged, you know, adults. We're, you know, roughly the same age. And, you know, we were kind of middle of the line when it come to age of people there. And that was so cool. Like, it was just like there were children and there were old geezers, like older than the band.
This is going to be a weird pivot. But the only concert I've ever been to where I've seen something like that is Weird Al.
Again,
when I went to my
but
first
that's a
Weird Al
multi-generational.
concert, when I went to my first Weird Al concert, there were 4 like retired elderly people in front of us, 2 couples, and one couple was asking the other couple, "Who are we seeing again?" And they were like, "Weird Al, he's very funny." We're like, "Oh, these people don't know what they're in for. Like, this is gonna be fucking
19
crazy."
years old.
And then you had that, like, 80s all the way down to you know, people bringing their little kids and stuff, and everyone has a good time.
My 19th birthday.
It takes a special artist to pull that off.
Just to reach everybody. In that way.
Exactly.
Like, to have that kind of music to last. Like, again, like my 19th birthday, I saw Earth, Wind and Fire. The original band.
Dope.
The original, like, before what's his name died. And granted, I was me and my sister were probably the youngest ones there. but like up like 19 and all the way up, there was everybody at that concert.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And the coolest thing, and I can say this probably about Metallica and every band that we mentioned, is Earth, Wind, and Fire put on such a great show. They were jumping up and down like they were 22
Right.
in. They just
They-
had all that energy and just put on a great show. If you're talking about, it's
You
great.
can tell on stage when an artist is.
Oh
being
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
When they're just like, yeah, I need to pay for the condo.
When
You
they-
know,
yeah.
we
Yeah,
got to
you
go
can-
back on.
Yeah,
on-
you
back
know
on
when they're in
tour.
the moment. Like,
Yes.
you know, I saw the Misfits and I've seen Danzig, like, what song do we want to do? This is Last Caress. And then the band's like, oh shit. You know?
Right.
And you can tell when they're in the moment and when they're following a script. And that, regardless of the genre of music, that comes off on the, and then people in the crowd are in the moment. You'll see less cell phones in the air.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know?
Oh yeah. Isn't that the best though? Before cell phones, like concerts, you could really
Oh, yeah.
enjoy as a person.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
mean-
People were in the pit. People were fisted in the air, holding lighters.
Just listening.
Lighters, you know, yeah, you know. When
I really
Freebird
wouldn't
come up,
mind
you-
seeing the RF blocker that like Rogan and them started doing in their shows.
Yeah.
Come to
They did
concerts.
that the first 2 times I saw the Misfits reunion, they did that and it was fucking great.
Yes.
The third time when I went with my brother Sean, shout out again, to Chicago, they didn't do that. And it was still like, you didn't see too many cell phones in the air.
No.
Yeah.
Because that generates typically an older crowd.
Yeah.
And most people there were older than us. And we're both late 30s. But they, you know, we saw that. But I want to go, as we wrap this up,
Yeah, I
I
was
want
gonna say,
you
final
guys,
thoughts, yeah.
I want you guys' final thoughts on Kill 'Em All, man. What's your final thoughts on this album specifically, man?
Dude, it's almost 40 years old. It's a freaking banger today.
Yeah.
After
Yeah.
4 decades of
Yeah.
new music, you go back and you listen to it, and you're like, damn, that's hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's a super impressive record, especially for their first, right? That was their first album.
Yeah, it's their first
Smash.
proper
It was
album.
groundbreaking at the time almost.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just holds up to the test of time.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Today.
Yeah.
It's 2020.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And in closing, guys, listen to this album, and a lot of you old heads, you've heard it a million times. Do it again. I haven't listened to it since CDs were in the car, and this one specifically in the car, it could have been 15 plus years since I've listened to it all the way through. It's a banger. Do it.
Right.
Listen to it, and if you want to hear it, check the link below. You can get a physical copy like this one, or you can just stream it. That's cool. And again, shameless plug the way we opened. If you want to get Bullies Volume 1, you can hear all 3 of us tell jokes. Again, the other link below. Do it. Get it. We're funny.
I would say for anyone who, I love this album for the same reason I love Public Enemy. I'm gonna
Yeah.
say that for my closing thought. It's like this is just a get amped and get your shit done album.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, how old is Public Enemy? Almost.
Slightly younger.
Yes, I was gonna
Yeah.
say younger, but for the same energy and the same reason. Like I'm a novice in metal, but I do know hip hop and I do know hard, and this hits all the markers I needed it
Yeah.
to.
All right, Tony, how do we end this thing?
Phone.
Right here.
That?
Yep, just like that. Touch them.